I think it's bottoming out the pot. So I'm gonna have to figure out what kind of bolts go here, because they're missing, and as you can see, they need to slide back and forth. Somebody's welded this bracket, which is moving more freely now that this is open. So I'm not quite sure what's going on with all this yet. Some poorly adjusted. See how loose this barrel is? Not this brass piece, but what is connected to into that shaft, into the pot. This is dangerous to me. What the hell is going on here? Alright, so here's the shaker motor. It's running non-stop. So not quite sure what that problem is. When I was in the oh hell, the control menu, I don't know, guys. I'm gonna look at this, then I'll talk about it. But anyways, see, this whole unit moves. That shouldn't move, but it's moving because it ain't bolted down correctly. I need this kind of bolts up here. My guess is there would need to be some. These are probably short shoulder bolts. That's probably what them are, shoulder bolts. If it isn't, that's probably what I'm going to use. Possibly a shoulder bolt. I'll figure something out, guys. Could take one of these out and just see what the heck they are. But I'm looking for the springs. There should be springs in here that make this return from left to right to center, right? I'm gonna unhook. I'm gonna take this off, this gear off here, and then see if I can get my full range motion of this turning left to right. Okay, so I was looking at this after I just shut this off. These two screws, loosen them, and then I'll be able to slide this entire thing up. And then if I gain my full range of motion, what I'm going to try to do is center the stick and then center the pot, push it back down till it engages, and then see if I have full range of motion again. Alright, flashlight time, guys. So if I ain't saying anything, because I'm just looking, so bear with me. I lifted this up out of here. Still get full motion this way, but not this way. And I'm trying to find out what in the hell it's hitting to not allow me full motion, because it should go. it should go over there, or else it's not centered correctly for some reason. I mean, it feels smooth. So in the up, well, alright guys, I have no idea what's going on here. And what the hell's these springs for? They don't even do anything. Is there something missing? This would almost like be for centering left and right. Alright fellers, I think I'm gonna have to tear this whole thing out of here so I can bring it out somewhere and literally tear this thing completely apart, bolt by bolt, piece by piece, so I can understand how it's supposed to work, so then I can assemble it correctly, because it's not correct. If you look down in here, hold on guys, right, you see the potentiometer, and this comes down and hits a pad down there, but there ain't one on the other side. Shouldn't there be? Why does it get to turn more to the left than the right? That don't make sense to me. And where's the thing that goes in between here to keep it centered? There's some pieces missing, or broken, or something, and I aim to figure out how this thing works. Alright guys, why it went to the left farther than it went to the right, because well, have a whatever these things are called, like a stop missing, so it was allowing it to go way to the left and barely to the right. And why it was so shallow going back to the right is because when it was allowed to rotate so far to the left, the stop that hits here was hitting this bolt, and what it was doing was it was bending the stop, so when it would rotate back around, it was coming to the stop even sooner. As you can see here, this is backwards, so this would have been on the right and this would be on the left. You can see the difference between the two, because this was coming up and smacking this, bending it down, so then when it rotate back to the right, it was hitting this stop even sooner. So as we can see here guys, it's a hell of a mess. So what I'm gonna do is, you see it's broken down in here, it's broken here, so I'm basically gonna straighten this out as much as I can with a crescent wrench or whatever, that I can get a lot of leverage on it. I'm gonna get it to look as close to this as possible. I'm just gonna weld the hell out of it. Okay, now my question also was, what in the hell centers it back from left to right? Now I already established that that's probably what this was for, and it is. As you can see here, the witness mark of where a piece of steel that stuck up off of here, that went in between these two rollers. So when it would turn left or right, like say it turned left here, it would push this out and then center back. You go right, push it over. Only be allowed to go so far from the stop, and when you let go of the stick, it assists back with the spring. So I'm just gonna find me a piece of steel. I don't know how wide this is, I hasn't measured, but I'm gonna measure this, okay? Then I'm gonna measure the distance between these two rollers. I'm gonna see how much close they are to each other in relation. Then I'm basically gonna just get a piece of steel that's almost as thick as this, maybe a little bit of room in between there, you know, an eighth of an inch or 16th, or, you know, a 32nd on each side, just so they're not being spread open. And I'm going to set that sucker right on top of here when everything's centered, and I'm just going to weld a piece of steel stock coming up off here. So I need to have this piece made, or find one. Maybe I know there's some Arcade Boneyard shit, so I'm going to check on there because it would be easier to buy than make, but it could be made. I think there's supposed to be rubber in here. So my son and wife still work down at the print shop, so they have some cutter rubber that goes in the cutter of the press that I think I can whittle down and put in here when it gets made. So, you know, it has some cushion to hit against. Now, if I haven't bored you yet, and you're still here, we're going to check out this other piece. Alright, guys. As you can see, we got a rubber stop there, here and here. That's for the up and down. They seem to be pretty much intact, although this is a greasy fucking mess. So, what I'm going to do here is, I think when you push the stick up, it falls back down by gravity, you know, because it's out there and got a heavy handle on it. So when you pull the stick back, it returns by these springs right here. So I think we're good at the up and down. For the shaker motor, we have two shoulder bolts on the side, one on this side, and here's the inside of the other one. And we got 4 on the floor. That's right, 4 on the floor, not 3 on the tree. So we got one here and one here. Now I've taken the nut off of this one, and I have tried and tried to screw that out, and I cannot get it to come out. I've tapped on it. I've even whacked it a couple good times with a hammer, and I cannot get it to come out. It just spins freely. So guys, what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to cut these two out of here. I'm going to just take my grinder and slice them bitches off flush with the floor, and they'll come out. Then I have to go to the hardware store and find something suitable to replace it. And I also am going to need to get new nylon washers to go under here. So anyways, what's going to happen is I am going to basically refab this whole, not really redesign it, just how can I say it, just refinish it. Maybe, you know, instead of these tiny little, well, I really can't do much. We'll see what I have to do, but I have to do something, and now I'm just rambling on. So this motor does work. It runs full time. My son pulled the PCB out, and we reseated all the chips. So far the game has not frozen, but it still has a sprite issue. So I think I'm just going to call Ken Westerfield, and I'm going to ask him to send my board. I'm going to ask him about the shaker motor running continuously, see what he has to say. Maybe he'll want me to send that board with me with the PCB. So anyways, guys, what I'm going to be doing is correcting all the bull crap on here and, you know, fixing it my way, I guess. All right.